And good evening and welcome to some great high school baseball coming up. We're in Weslaco, Texas. We're here at the home of the Weslaco Panthers. Hi, I'm Scott Harrison, part of the K-West crew, bringing you to this live on YouTube tonight. And the guests tonight are going to be the Los Fresnos Falcons, and they are coached by Rene Morales. And so far, they have a record of 4-1 in district, and also they have done very good overall. They are 10-3-2. And meanwhile, the Weslaco Panthers, they are 8-4 overall and 4-1 in district. So both these teams are tied for second in district. That is 32-6A, and they are trailing Harlingen. They lead the district at 5-0. They are 11-5 overall. Of course, next week, the next home game for Weslaco will be against Harlingen here, so that's going to be a lot of excitement. But right now, can't overlook the Falcons again. These teams are tied for second place, one game behind Harlingen, so we are looking forward to some excitement tonight. I was down the road, go through that town quite a bit. My sister has a home on South Padre Island, and so we passed through that community on the way down there. And that ball is going to be hit, and it is going to go toward left field. And that ball is an out. It's caught, so nice job there. First out of the ball game. Munoz lofting the ball over to left, but it is caught. So that is an F7. Coming up with the catch was Izzy De Leon. And now coming to the plate is Sidney Moore, wearing number 7, the third baseman. And again, Los Fresnos, mixture of youth and some experience. Moore can pitch or play infield and is a senior. And the first two pitches are balls, so 2-0. Cavazos, usually pretty good control out there. Here is the windup and the pitch. Outside, 3-0. Again, good turnout tonight. You're going to have some noisemakers, little sound effects in the stands. And that is going to be a strike, 3-1, called strike. I believe this is the first time these teams have faced this year each other. And that is a called strike. Hits the outside corner. So 3-2 is the count. Glad to have Vinny Berry and also Adrian De Leon aboard with us tonight as part of our K-West crew on site. That ball tip foul. Batter stays alive. So after falling behind in the count, Cavazos works it full. Nathaniel Perez, the catcher for Weslaco. That ball fouled back. Gentleman Castillo will be next, center fielder. And that ball is high, ball 4. So first runner of the ball game. More walks. And Castillo will be coming up.
Batting for the Falcons, number 3, Jermaine Castillo.
Jermaine, center fielder, also can pitch as a senior. Plus, Fresno's a scrappy team. Not afraid to bunt the ball. Will do what they ever have to, depending on the situation. Like to get the ball in play. Some words from their coach. Runner with the lead right now, and it's a 2-0 count. Have to see if Moore gets the green light to try to steal a base. Remember, Cavazos got behind on Moore and eventually walked him, but several foul balls in between. Throws to first, runners back easily. Last game in March for Weslaco. Thursday, according to the schedule, they are away for a 6:30 game against Brownsville Rivera. That is a ball. Excuse me, a strike. And of course, we mentioned next Monday, Harlingen comes to town. After that, only 3 more home games during the month of April. San Benito, Brownsville Hanna, and Brownsville Rivera. Of course, we mentioned Rivera will be an away game this Thursday. They'll play them at home on April 26th. That'll be a Monday. That'll be the final regular season game for Weslaco. 2-1 count. Called strike. One thing about Cavazos we've seen tonight, if he does get behind, can even up the count. Again, runner at first. And he takes off that time. Hit and run, and it's going to be a single. And the runner will advance to third. We told you they like to play situational baseball. So on the hit and run, runner in motion. And that might have helped him winding up getting an extra base as Moore winds up on third on Castillo's single. Runners at the corners, still just 1 out. And coming to the plate is Matt Padilla.
Batting for the Falcons, number 6, Matt Padilla.
And he wears number 6. Playing left field tonight, junior. Listed both as an outfielder and a pitcher. A lot of their players are listed as pitchers. Not sure how many they actually use in that role. And the runner is going. Ball gets away from the shortstop, and a run will score. So Moore comes in, because Castillo will be credited with a stolen base and advances on the throw. Will be an error on that play. Error to the shortstop or the throw? All right. They're still considering what that should be. But definitely there was an error on the play. Among the people in our press box tonight, we do have Orlando Martinez Jr. Good to be working with him again as our PA announcer. You'll hear his voice in the background. Of course, his dad, Orlando Martinez Sr., keeps his field in great shape. As you can see during our K-West broadcast, how good it looks. 1-1 the count. Ball inside. Again, Padilla at the plate. 1 run in. 1-0 the score. So far, Moore has walked, and Castillo with the single. 3-1 the count. I know at least two of the batters in this inning. Cavazos has got up to 3 balls on them, so struggling a little bit with the control, but it's early. That's a called strike. Batter looking to take all the way on that pitch. Full count once again. Again, 1 out, runner on third, so I'm sure Los Fresnos coach would like to see the ball somehow in play and maybe have a chance to have the runner score even if there's an out. And swings at some high heat. And that is the first strikeout of the ball game for Mr. Cavazos. And that also makes it 2 outs. Runner still at third base. Big out. Had that ball been hit into play into the infield, a possible run could have scored. Maybe a high fly ball to the outfield could have made the runner score by tagging up. So that was a huge out. Now we'll see if Weslaco can close out the inning. Shortstop is up, number 4. His first bat of the night. Hector Munez, right fielder, junior. Again, another one of those players listed as a possible pitcher. 0-1 the count. 0-2 the count. So maybe that strikeout and keeping that runner on third might have given a little boost, a little momentum to Vince out there. You never know. We'll see now. Will he waste the pitch? Ball is high. 1-2 the count. Again, seems like most of the games we come to here, whether it be the girls softball or the boys baseball, a lot of wind. It's been a windy season so far, at least games we've broadcast. And that ball is put in play, but it's foul. Left side. 1-2 the count. Even though Weslaco down, that is 1-0, it would be a huge moral victory to strand that runner at third. Maybe give additional momentum to the batters as they come up. Of course, since it's the first, it'll be the top of the order. Here's the pitch, and that is a called strike 3, and that ends the inning. So we played a half inning here at Weslaco, and it is the Panthers trailing 1-0 against Los Fresno and getting ready to come to bat. So in that inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. Again, after a half inning of play, it is the Falcons over the Panthers 1-0. Now we go to the bottom of the first inning with Weslaco trailing 1-0. Seeing if they can get on the scoreboard. Chris Caceres is up first, shortstop, number 9. And he's hit by the pitch. First pitch hits him, and so he will go on base. So a good start for the Panthers. Izzy De Leon is next, the left fielder, number 24. People yelling, "Go Izzy." Yelling some encouragement. We'll see if Panthers can capitalize. First pitch to Izzy is a strike. Chris, by the way, is a junior. Izzy, a senior. Playing left field. Chris, shortstop tonight. Pitcher steps off the mound. And that's Oscar Franco. He wears number 2, batting 8th in the order. 0-2 the count. He is a senior. Franco can also play the outfield. And that ball gets away from the catcher. Runner will advance to second. Ball goes into center field on the throw, but not far enough for a possible advance to third base by Chris. So runner in scoring position. Tying run in scoring position with no outs for Weslaco. And Franco throws several different pitches. Pitches that is not necessarily a power pitcher. May not overwhelm you with the fastball, but a little more finesse from him might be expected. 2-2 the count. Runner not really being held on the bag at second. Takes a pretty good leadoff. Healthy leadoff. Good chance a single could get him in. That is going to be fouled off. Count remains at 2-2. As it says on the Panthers baseball schedule, one team, one direction. Again, a 32 6A district game. So district games pretty much from now on. So every game very important. And that ball will go down the line, left field, foul ball. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in to this broadcast on K-West, on YouTube, between the Falcons and the Panthers. That ball will be fouled again. Number 30, Jacob Sandoval, is the catcher for Los Fresnos. And that's a swing and a strike. So Izzy goes down swinging for the first out of the inning for Weslaco. Aaron Tamez is next. Number 15 on his uniform. Playing center field tonight. Senior, also listed as a pitcher. You were hoping maybe on that last at bat, the runner could have advanced to third, so maybe a fly ball or slow roller could have brought him in, but still, just one out. And we know that Weslaco's bats definitely can do the job. We've seen it before. That ball hit towards center field. Actually, shorter than I thought. Had a little trouble seeing it in the sun. So it was a pop out to short. And that will be the second out of the inning.
Up to bat for your Panthers, number 30, Troy Rodriguez.
And again, two outs. Troy Rodriguez now at bat. Strike one. Troy is senior, listed as a pitcher and infielder. 0-2 is the count after that foul tip. Playing first base tonight. Hitting in the cleanup spot. That ball is tapped in front of the plate. Catcher has it, throws to first for the out. And that is the end of the first inning, as Weslaco cannot capitalize on their base runners. So after one complete, it's Los Fresnos over Weslaco 1-0.
Before Christine McCleary was a physical therapist, she was an honor student at Weslaco ISD, played sports, and was a cheerleader. She graduated from Ohio State University, then physical therapy school at Texas State University. Now she is Dr. Christine McCleary at Triumph Therapy and part of the clinical faculty at UTRGV School of Medicine. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Christine McCleary, WISD was the right choice.
We get back to baseball. It is the top of the second inning.
Batting for the Falcons, number 14, Garcia.
And coming up is the first baseman, number 14, Juan Garcia. Remember, final two batters in the first inning for Los Fresnos struck out. We'll see if Vince Cavazos could keep that up. First pitch is a ball, ball one. Now gets it in the strike zone, a 1-1. And looking at Garcia, listed as an infielder, again playing first tonight, and is a junior. 2-1 the count. Nice evening for baseball tonight, much nicer than last night when this game was originally scheduled. Glad to see everybody come out. 3-1 the count, and again, it's been feast or famine, I think, for Cavazos. This is the third time in the game he's got to at least a 3-ball count, but of course got a couple strikeouts in the first inning too. And that'll be a walk. So Garcia opens up the second with a walk. Remember, Sidney Moore walked. He was the second batter in the first inning after Munoz flied out. And now a little discussion. Maybe trying to get Cavazos a little more focused. We'll see. So we have a runner at first again. No outs, top of the second. 1-0 Los Fresnos. For those not familiar, this will be a scheduled 7-inning game. Of course, Weslaco the home team, so potentially we'll have the last at bat. And our next batter about to approach the plate, Jose Cervantes. Tonight playing second base, wearing number 1. He's a senior. Again, another one of those players listed as a pitcher. I think on their roster they have 9 players listed as pitchers. Of course, other positions too, but one of their abilities, at least listed on the roster, is to pitch. That is ball 1. Of course, on Weslaco, they actually have 10 players listed who are capable of being a pitcher besides another position player. Pulls back. 1-1. Runner taking a short lead off at first. Third baseman creeps in for a potential bunt. One is taken, but it's fouled. So on that play, Weslaco ready for the potential bunt. Dylan Garcia creeped in, but the bunt attempt went foul. 1-2 the count. Inside, evens the count at 2-2. Pitcher Oscar Franco will be next. He is 8th in the batting order. That ball tapped to short. Possible double play. And guess what? Both runners erased. 6-4-3. I have not seen too many double plays this year covering girls and boys softball, but that was a nice one. Textbook.
Batting for the Falcons, number 2, Oscar Franco.
So Franco's up, 2 outs. Nice job on defense there. Caceres getting it. Then over to second to Rodriguez, and then to first to Tamez. And now 0-2 is the count. Remember, in the first inning, Cavazos ended the inning with 2 strikeouts. Let's see if he can end this inning with a strikeout again. Hits the batter. So both pitchers have hit batters tonight. And Franco on base. 2 outs. And now we go to the bottom of the order. Catcher Jacob Sandoval, senior, wearing number 30, comes to the plate.
Batting for the Falcons, number 30, Jacob Sandoval.
Caceres, of course, led off the bottom of the first and was hit by a pitch by Franco. Now Franco gets on base via hit by pitch. Munoz will be up next if this inning stays alive. So we'll be back to the top of the order for Los Fresnos. Called strike. 0-1. Again, I think the plan is to go with Cavazos as long as they can. Of course, that can change. Runner going to have a balk, and a runner will advance to second. So Franco on the balk advances to second. Again, still 2 outs. Had a runner in scoring position at the end of the first. I believe 1 out, and they retired the last 2 batters to get out after surrendering a run earlier. Now a discussion at the mound. 1-1 the count. And the batter will go talk with the third base coach. So strategy both on defense and offense during this timeout on the field. I believe we'll have more baseball coming up later this week. I believe on Thursday, Weslaco East will be featured live on YouTube via KWES. Two and one the count. Whole sports complex here. Looking out, of course, I can see next door the girls' softball field, and in the background, the football field, Bobby Lackey Stadium. And again, another batter hit by a pitch. So now we have runners at first and second. And again, following the double play, 2 consecutive batters hit by a pitch, and we're back to the top of the order. Josh Munoz, who flied out to left to start the game.
Batting for the Falcons, number 23, Josh Munoz.
Where's number 23, shortstop? Cavazos, a little bit of control problems tonight. Walked a couple batters, hit a couple batters, but also a couple strikeouts, so just trailing 1-0 here in the second with the capabilities of the bats of Weslaco. Still in a very good situation. 0-1 the count. Batter steps out. Short lead by the runner at second. Same thing at first. Ball outside, 1-1. Not really expecting a double steal, but you never know. Again, they play situational baseball, so who knows? Talking about Los Fresnos. Swing. Fouled away, 1-2. 1-2 the count. Good position for Cavazos to be in. I'd like to end this inning right now. Get Weslaco back to bat in the bottom of the second. Two and two the count. It's a lot of fun here, seeing both the Lady Panthers softball team and the boys baseball team in the hunt for district titles. Both well-coached teams, both very competitive. Always enjoy talking to Mara Rodriguez when we cover the girls softball games next door. And that ball is hit high towards center field. Center fielder's on the run and gets it for the third out of the inning. So no damage done after those 2 batters reached base, hit by pitches, and we've played 1.5. It is Los Fresnos over Weslaco, 1-0.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
We will see what Weslaco can do in the bottom of the second. Los Fresnos ahead 1-0. And again, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Ryan Everett at bat, just a freshman. Plays right field. Where's number 6? And that is going back. Foul. And the sun is shining in my eyes over there in the left field corner, but Orlando Martinez Jr., who's at the other side of the press box and can see better, says it was out, but it was foul. So he got, I guess you can't say Wood got the medal on the ball, but got to aim it just a little bit toward the right there, and that would have been a home run. And Everett's have a good campaign, is having a good campaign as a freshman. And that's another big swing, but that time a strike, so it's 1-2. Always good to have the young players contribute. See if he takes another big cut. And that time he does, but it's a swing and a miss. And so he strikes out, first out of the bottom of the second.
Up to bat for your Panthers, number 6, Stone Gomez.
Stone Gomez now comes to the plate. That is the second strike out of the night, by the way, for Franco. And Stone Gomez has a couple home runs this year. Definitely an exciting player to watch. 0-1 the count. His name is Jesse, but he goes by Stone. Again, another ninth grader in the lineup. Playing right field. And he has a couple home runs this year. Has a solo shot and also a 3-run homer. So he saw what Everett did. Just barely missed a home run the last at bat. Let's see if he can capitalize. And we see that Everett and Gomez don't mind taking the cuts. And 1-2, but again, maybe Gomez learned from Everett. Got to be a little careful now on this pitch. Don't want to strike out. Make it 2 outs. That ball low. So 2-2 the count. Flags blowing. See, we got some wind today. And that is a drop third strike, but the catcher will get it to first. So both Everett and Gomez strike out. Third strikeout of the night for Franco. And now, coming to the plate, Dylan Garcia. Listed as an infielder, wears a number, or actually is a sophomore. Again, another one of those young players. Wears number 12. Playing third base tonight. The hot corner. So the young men are contributing here in this part of the lineup. And he's hit by a pitch. So that is the 4th player in this game to be hit by a pitch. Both starting pitchers have hit 2 batters tonight, and he goes to first base with 2 outs. And that will bring up the catcher next. Nathaniel Perez, a junior. He is number 7 in the lineup. So the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Weslaco, they're either freshmen or sophomores. That's impressive. Shows there's a potential good future ahead for the Panthers. Right now, they're just worrying about the present. Trying to get by Les Fresnos, and then next week play Harlingen. Maybe get a top of the district. Harlingen, I believe, won last night. One 1-0 the count. Goes to 2-0. Again, we mentioned Harlingen, 5-0. I believe Los Fresnos' last victory was over Donna North, 17-0. And that ball hit in the air toward left field, and it will drop. So that, I believe, is the first hit of the ball game for the Panthers. They've had some runners on base, a couple hit by pitches. But now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And getting ready to step to the plate is Isaac Rodriguez, a junior infielder, tonight playing second base. Part of that double play last half inning. After getting the ball from short, fired it down to first for the second out. 1-0 the count. And he's hit by a pitch. So unusual. We've had 5 players hit by pitches tonight, and the bags are jammed. So 2 of the 3 batters on base right now were hit by pitches. Other was a single, first single by the Panthers. And now we have 2 outs and bags are jammed. And the pitcher can help himself. I believe he's next.
Before Danya Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Danya Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Danya Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Chris Casares is batting. Of course, designated hitter, so Cavazos is not batting. And is he hit by the pitch? All right, so that will force in a run. That forces in a run. Dylan Garcia comes in. And now the bags are jammed, and all 3 runners. This is very unusual. I can't remember when I've ever seen this. All 3 runners on the bases are there as the result of being hit by a pitch. I've watched a lot of baseball, but I don't ever remember seeing that, much less seeing 4 batters hit in 1 inning. Izzy De Leon is up and is now a 1-1 game. Can you watch enough baseball, you see everything. When I watch minor league baseball, I think I saw a no-hitter go into the 9th. For the Mobile Bay Bears. That was the Double-A team of the Padres, but have not seen a no-hitter in person yet either. Have seen a triple play. That is a grounder to second, throw to first, and that will end the inning. So 4-3 for the final out. But 1 run comes in, and after 2 complete, it's Los Fresnos and Weslaco tied at 1-1.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So,
Batting for the Falcons, number 7, Sydney Moore.
we now see Sydney Moore is up. Walked and scored in the first, leading off the third. Los Fresnos, of course, the road team. And that was very much inside. That was close. 2-0 the count. Batter got out of the way. Moore again walk, so he has a good eye. At least what we saw at his first at bat. 3-0 the count. Called strike. Hit the outside corner, 3-1. Batter taking all the way. No matter what level of baseball, you see a lot of batters will take when they get a 3-0 count. Now, count has worked to 3-2. I will give Cavazos credit. A lot of times when he gets behind, he's been good at getting the count even. Sometimes he does lose the batter eventually, but he's battling all the way. And that's fouled back. Hits the roof of the press box here. The thump. Again, another warm day. Started out a cool morning, but warmed up as the day went on. And that ball is fouled back. And I got to give Los Fresnos credit. A lot of times when Cavasso got behind, he's fought back, but Los Fresnos, their batters have been fouling the balls away, and then finally get that pitch that they hold back on and get the walk. I mean, it's really been quite a battle tonight between the Los Fresnos batters and Cavazos. We've seen some at bats almost go to double digits. Outside, see what I mean? The batter kept fouling the ball away, and finally there was that pitch that was out of the strike zone, and they get the walk. So you've got to give credit to Los Fresnos for that, and especially Mr. Moore, who's walked twice. Again, no outs. Top of the third.
Falcons number 3, Jermaine Castillo.
Jermaine Castillo comes to bat. He's got the hit tonight for Los Fresnos. Again, he came in to pitch with 2 outs in the second after it appeared some sort of possible shoulder problem for the starter, Oscar Franco. That is a called strike. And we've also seen tonight when Cavazos may walk a batter, he comes out very strong, challenges the next batter, so has not been afraid to do that. Even when things sometimes aren't going perfect for a pitcher, it's good to see that they battle, and that shows the mark of a quality pitcher like Vince is. He's no stranger to success, but he's made a success. 0-1 the count. Sun beginning to set. Of course, light's been on during this game, but pretty soon, I guess you call this the twilight time. Ball fouled back, 0-2. And we've seen this before. Cavazos will walk a batter, and then next batter, all of a sudden, it's 0-2 or 1-2. Battles back, I guess you could say. Again, game tied at 1-1. Popped up. Center fielder going for it. Gets it. Runner gets back to first, so nice hustle in the outfield that time. Ball caught. Give credit to Tamez for 2 outs. Actually, 1 out, I'm sorry.
Number 6, Matt Padilla.
Wishful thinking, I guess, for the Panthers, at least through me. Matt Padilla now up. He struck out. First time at bat. And again, Moore still at first. Now he's going. And pitcher cuts it off. Maybe he didn't realize the batter was running to second and thought the catcher was just throwing the ball back to him. Not sure. But nevertheless, it's a stolen base for Moore. So runner in scoring position with 1 out. 1-1 game. Inside, 1-1. Moore scored the only run of the game so far for Los Fresnos. That was in the first inning. Runner allowed to get a little bit of a lead out there, not really being held on. 2-1 the count. Los Fresnos got their run in the top of the first. Weslaco, bottom of the second. We're in the top of the third right now. Sun just about to set. Probably be completely gone by the next half inning. Called strike, 2-2. Again, we mentioned Padilla struck out his first at bat, and the batter on deck, Hector Munez, I should say, also struck out his first at bat. And that ball finds the gap between short and third, but it was hit so hard, runner could only advance to third. Hit that ball hard between short and third, and there was no chance for the runner to score. But Padilla gets on. Second hit of the night for the Falcons, and we now have runners on the corners. First and third, just 1 out. And again, coming to back is
number 4,
Hector Munez, who made an out, struck out last time. But of course, a long fly ball or some sort of infield grounder potentially could bring in a run, even if there is an out, either a fielder's choice or whatever. Runner will go to second. Going to be a strike. I'm not sure would that be a stolen base or not. Depends how it's scored. Some people might say runner indifference, but for now we'll give him a stolen base. Again, they didn't want a double steal attempt and the runner trying to get in from third, so they kind of just let the runner have second base. But runners in scoring position with 1 out, second and third. Third baseman playing on the grass. Again, it wouldn't be a shock to see a bunt by this team. 1-1 the count. Just like you get the ball in play. That's what the coach told us before. Their head coach, Rene Morales. Called strike. And it'd be huge to get a strikeout here, because then obviously you couldn't use a sacrifice fly with 2 outs to get a run in. So these are some critical pitches now coming up for Cavazos. Outside, 2-2. Right now, third baseman holding on the runner at third. Now he'll back off a little bit. Runner at second not being held on. 2-2 the count. Foul ball. And we talked about this earlier in the inning about how Los Fresnos is good at staying alive when they have 2 strikes. And a couple times they've been able to coax walks out of Cavazos by just fouling back enough pitches where finally he misses the strike zone and they get on base. That ball is going to go foul. Remember earlier we saw a ball hit down by the 320 marker. Just foul there. And had it been over a few feet, it would have been a home run, I believe, for Ryan Everett. So he hit it over 320 feet, just a little bit foul. So just a long foul ball instead of a homer. That was earlier in this game. 2-2 is the count. Foul. Was that foul back or did it hit the batter? We'll have to wait and see. He goes down. He went to the ground very quickly. We're not going to spend too much time on this because the good news is that he's back in the game. Went to the dugout for a moment and now he's back to play. So that's what's key. 2-2 is the count. Runners on second and third, 1 out if you're trying to remember the situation. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Game is tied at 1-all. A 32-6A matchup here in Weslaco, Texas between Los Fresnos and the host Panthers. And that ball just missed. 3-2 the count. I heard some woos in the background from some of the local fans. Let's see if now we're going to see several foul balls as we've seen in the past by Los Fresnos batters on the full count. Or maybe Cavazos will get a ball there on the corner, and he does. A strikeout. Perfect pitch. Called, 3rd strike. So that will be his 3rd strikeout of the game. He had 2 in the first. And more importantly, that makes it 2 outs, so things like a sacrifice fly or a slow roller in the infield can't score a run. Still batters on second and third. Juan Garcia is up. Has walked in this game. 1-0 the count. Nice showdown that time between Munez and Cavazos. Cavazos getting the better end of that one. Ball popped up on the infield. First baseman calls for it and gets it for the 3rd out. So nice job that time by Rodriguez. And we have played 2.5. We're in Weslaco, and the Panthers are tied with their guest Los Fresnos at 1-all.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Panthers at bat. Let's see if they can get a rally going. And it's going to be a ball on the first pitch. Tamez at bat. That's going to be 2 balls. 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2. Thomas playing center field tonight, a senior. Again, score tied at 1-1. Hit by pitch. Yep, okay, another one of those. So he will go to first base. And again, tonight, Los Fresnos pitchers, if I have my count correct, now have had 5 batters come to the bat, or 5 batters reach base being hit by a pitch. So leadoff batter on. And we'll get to second. Ball 1. Stolen base by Tamez. At the plate right now, Troy Rodriguez. Playing first base. Did a nice job defensively earlier, helping complete a double play. One and one the count. So runner in scoring position, lead run in scoring position with no outs. Heart of the order up. Ball fouled back. 1-2. Everett will be next. Remember, he's the young man that hit the foul ball over 320 feet down the left field line, just barely foul, almost a home run in his first at bat. He'll be next. And that's going to be a called strike. So Rodriguez strikes out. Going to be the 4th strikeout tonight for Los Fresnos pitching.
Coming to bat for your Panthers, number 18,
Ryan Everett up. One of those young players, young guns, that's doing a nice job for Weslaco. That is high. Runner tries to go to third. Is he safe or out? Did he get the stolen base? First, it looked like an out at first, but they may have changed the call. We'll see what Blue finally said. Runner's still at third. And that would be his 2nd stolen base here in this inning. Stole second. Now looks like he stole third. There was a little bit of discussion. Rene Morales came out, the head coach. When you play professional ball, it's managers. I used to work in professional ball, so it's an easy mistake for me to make. But head coach came out, and he's still discussing it. And Rene, by the way, is a really nice guy to talk to, but I don't think he's too happy right now. We had a nice conversation before the game. But no pleasantries there, I'm sure. But it will stay a stolen base. 1-0 the count. And remember, Everett had that long fly ball that went foul, so if he could loft one like that, even if it is an out, back to the warning track, that would score a run. We know he has the ability to do that. I'm sure that's in the back of his mind. Obviously, he'd just like to get a home run. So they call him out. All right, finally they decide that it was not a stolen base. And Tamez is out stealing. Took a while to decide that, but that's the final determination. Now we'll have some words with the umpire from Weslaco. Obviously not happy with that call. You think your runner stole third and all of a sudden it's changed. But it seems like it's going to be, well, it'll be a short discussion, but I guess the point was gotten across. So 2 outs, nobody on. And Everett has a 1-0 count. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Well, a home run would give you the lead. We know this young man can do it. Wind's blowing. And that ball will be hit into left field. Stinging shot. Gets between third and short. And Everett gets a base hit. Keeps the inning alive. I believe that is the second hit of the night for Weslaco.
Not batting for your Panthers, number 6, Stone Gomez.
Stone Gomez, number 6, is up. He's the freshman who's hit a couple home runs this season. Nice time for him to do it again if you're a Panthers fan. That ball is high. I'm sure the pitcher's aware of his ability. Remember, it's Jermaine Castillo's in there. Came in after the arm problems in the second inning for the starter, Oscar Franco. That ball high over the head of the batter, and he motions to the runner at first base to stay. It was not going to be a wild pitch, so do not try to risk getting out going to second. 2-0 the count. Again, 2 outs. That ball hit hard to third, and it is an out. Nice play by the third baseman. Catching that one is Sidney Moore. So we've played 3 complete, and right now Weslaco is tied with their guest Los Fresnos at 1 apiece.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
So we're in the 4th inning, tied at 1. And again, Jose Cervantes is in, and it's an 0-1 count. And when we get a chance here, probably between innings, we're going to talk about some of the accomplishments of Weslaco High's Sergio Lerma. Won a state championship in powerlifting. As a matter of fact, a headline recently in the Monitor back on Sunday, March, I believe it was 28th, at the bottom of the sports page, front page, says Lerma set state record, and 4 Rio Grande Valley powerlifters won state titles. So that shows you how big powerlifting is here in the Rio Grande Valley. 1-2 is the count. And I just, again, when I came down here, I was familiar with all the usual sports, and I knew the Rio Grande Valley, considering the size of the area, it was very competitive in sports. But I wasn't that aware of the powerlifting when I first moved here, but I have become since then, and it's good to see the success. That ball is high, 2-2 the count. And again, Lerma did all of this, and we'll talk about it, his big success, the state championship at the Texas High School Powerlifting Association Division I state meet. That was at the Taylor County Expo Center in Abilene. And that is going to be a hit to center field. So leadoff batter on here in the 4th inning for Los Fresnos. And Again, there were some changes in the order.
Number 9, CJ De Leon.
CJ De Leon getting his first at bat of the night. Came into the outfield after Germain came in to pitch due to the injury to Oscar Franco. Do we know where De Leon is playing? He's in right field. Okay, just wanted to make sure. As he gets his first bat of the night. He wears number 9. Again, an outfielder. He's a junior. And he looks like he will bunt. Or try to bunt. Puts the bunt stance, but first a throw to first. Runner back. So no outs, I should say. Runner at first. No outs here in the 4th. We thought this would be a close game. Both teams tied for second in the district. Proved out to be a very good game. And it seems lately when I've done some softball and baseball, I've seen my share of blowouts. I've seen, I think, even a 22-0 game. So kind of refreshing to see something close. Though we always like to see the young athletes do good offensively. Squares to bunt, fouled. 0-1. De Leon trying to advance the runner, trying to put maybe the lead run in scoring position with an out, even if it's not a bunt single. You've advanced the runner, you've got 2 chances to try to drive the runner in. And we've said this a couple times in the game. Head coach Morales over at Los Fresnos likes that ball in play. Trying to move the runners around. And again, squares up to bunt. Pulls back. A 1-1 the count. Again, we always enjoy everybody we work with here in the press boxes all around. We've been in Weslaco in all 4 of the softball, baseball press boxes. Softball and baseball at Weslaco East, softball and baseball here at Weslaco, and we've enjoyed all the people we've met in all 4 of them. They've been a lot of fun to work with. 1-1 the count. And again, no secret what's happening here. Trying to get a bunt. It's now 1-2. Of course, you foul the ball off now. I believe this is just like Major League Baseball would be strike 3. You foul it off, bunting, I believe. But I'm not quite sure of the rules here with that. But 1-2 is the count. Third baseman way in. Halfway to the plate. Ball thrown to first. That's about as far in as I've seen a third baseman play. But again, the batter has not tried to hide the fact, trying to bunt the runner to second. I know sometimes you might see a slap hit if this was a girls' softball game, maybe try to get over the head of the third baseman. And that one is fouled back. And so that will be strike 3. So just like in minor league and Major League Baseball, professional baseball, you foul the ball off. When it's strike 2, it becomes strike 3, and that is a registered strikeout now for Cavazos. And Jacob Sandoval is up now. With 1 out. He was hit by a pitch in this game. Ball 1. Of course, I was a little surprised to see the batter bunt with 2 strikes. You don't normally see that in some levels of baseball. And if I had a chance to talk to Coach Morales after the game, I'd probably ask him why he was still trying to bunt with 2 strikes. But again, he obviously had a good reason for it. Maybe that young man is successful most of the time. 2-0 the count. So Cavazos has hit some batters, has given up some walks, but still come through when he's needed to. 3-0 the count. Obviously, you don't want to issue a walk and put the lead runner in scoring position. But he's been in these situations before where he's gotten behind and worked the count to 3-2, sometimes getting the batter out, sometimes not. But we mentioned on some of those 3-2 situations, so many foul balls, almost a double digit at bat for the batter. Batter crowding the plate, turns away, but that's a called strike. 3-1. Nice evening for baseball here in Weslaco. And that ball will be outside, so we will have the runner at scoring position now at first. He advances to second on the walk. And Sandoval is at first. Cervantes goes to second. And we're back to the top of the lineup. Josh Munoz is up. A little discussion at the mound. Also, we see Coach Morales having a word with the home plate umpire. Don't know if he's made any kind of change in lineup here, but we'll see. It looks like Sidney Moore still on deck. Sidney's got on base a couple times tonight walking. Now the first base umpire coming out to talk. In these games, 2 umpires work the game, and I'm still not clear exactly what's going on here. But a discussion taking place. And the managers are out there talking to the umpires. So if we can figure this out, we will.
Before Rene Hinojosa became a business executive, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL academics, designed the original Wildcats logo, was an all-state academic middle linebacker. He then played for the Longhorns, graduating with a business degree from UT. Now he's the Director of Strategic Development at Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Rene Hinojosa, WISD was the right choice.
And now back to action, and the first pitch is going to be a strike. A strike to Munoz. Josh at the plate again. Featuring now Burkett on the mound. And that will be a ball. Again, runners at first and second with 1 out. We are here in the top of the 4th inning, scheduled 7-inning game, tied at 1-all. And that's going to be 2-1. And by the way, if you want to read more about Lermer's records, some of the stuff I was talking about, it is in the Monitor's Sunday edition, front page of the sports section. That's March 28th. Again, count 2-1. Time. Big game for both these teams. Second in their district, behind Harlingen, undefeated in district play. Won last night. So, again, a big game for both teams. And again, we want to send a message to Bobby Cerna. We said this at the first of the broadcast, but he is the head coach Eddie Cerna's brother, and he is watching the game while recovering at the hospital. So we want to wish the best to him. And hopefully he's back 100% off the DL real soon. 2-1 the count. Looking at the runner at second, leading off, not being held on. 3-1 the count. It would load the bags with 1 out. Big pitch coming up. Here it is. And it is a ball, so bags are jammed. 1 out, as we mentioned. Cervantes at third. Sandoval at second. And Munoz at first. Sidney Moore, who's walked in both his at-bats, is now coming to the plate. So he has a good eye for the ball. First baseman and third baseman playing on the grass, edge of the grass. And that one is way outside, ball 1. Not a good omen. Not against Mr. Moore with the eye he has at the plate. Again, a tough situation to come in as a reliever when you've got runners on the plate. Runners on the base already. Not quite sure why the pitching change was made, but was made. And that's way outside, 2-0. So both pitches this time way outside, not near the strike zone. And we're 2 balls away from forcing in the lead run. Again, you know that Moore's going to be very selective to what he swings at. And that time, just kept the bat on his shoulders, so to speak. 2-1 the count. Nervous moments right now for Weslaco fans. Nice pitch that time. Hit the outside corner. Again, Moore very hesitant to swing, trying to see if he can get on base via walk for a third time. 3-1 the count. Full count, 3-2. So after, I believe, falling behind 3-0, Burkett comes on strong. Let's see what he does now. Again, a ball forcing a run. And that ball will be hit toward third. Third baseman can't quite get there, dives, and that will bring in at least 1 run only. It was a nice diving effort for the ball, but got by the third baseman. And a single that time for Moore, who now has reached base all 3 times at bat. Twice during the walk and now via a single. And we see a run has scored. So it's 2-1. Jermaine Castillo, who moved to the pitcher's spot, he singled and flied out. He is now coming to bat for the 3rd time. Bag still jammed, 1 out. Cervantes came in on that. Sandoval is now at third. Munoz at second and Moore at first. 0-1 the count. That ball lofted toward right field, and it's over the right fielder's head. And that is going to be an extra base hit. That's going to score at least 2 runs, maybe 3. Yes, a triple clears the bases of the runners that were on. And we see Castillo with a 3 RBI triple. So Sandoval, Munoz, and Moore all come in. And it is now a 5-1 game. Top of the 4th.
Batting for the Falcons, number 6, Matt Padilla.
Matt Padilla at the plate. So a long fly ball down to right field. Helps Jermaine Castillo. He, of course, right now would be the pitcher of record. If this score would hold up, he would get the win. And there's going to be a pitching change right now for the Panthers.
Before Danya Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Danya Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Danya Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
And coming to the plate, Matt Padilla. Padilla has singled and struck out. Again, Castillo at third base, following a triple that scored 3 runs. Over the right fielder's head, the triple. And that's a ball. Scheduled 7-inning game. Weather will not be a factor tonight. I know a rainy day yesterday, but shaped up to be a nice evening. At least weather-wise. We're not talking about the score if you're a Panthers fan. Pulls back from the bunt, but still called strike. 1-1. Panthers definitely an explosive team, have the ability to score runs. So definitely not out of it offensively. Swinging strike. Castros looks like he's having a little more success than his predecessor. 1-2 the count. See if he can avoid having this runner come in via maybe a bunt or a sacrifice fly, and then, of course, just an ordinary out will stop the damage and get Weslaco up in the bottom of the 4th. Low, 2-2, count even. Of course, Los Fresnos did have 17 runs against Donna North in that 17-zip win, so they do have the ability to score. That was their last game. Again, appreciate all the fans out here tonight supporting local baseball, high school baseball, and everyone watching via K-West on YouTube. 3-2. Big pitch coming up, in my opinion. You want to really establish something here. Show that the relief staff can get some outs. And obviously, don't want this game to get out of control if you're a Weslaco fan. Foul ball, long run by the third baseman. Was he able to get it? No, just missed it. Good hustle, but couldn't quite make it. So still 3-2 the count. Give credit to Dylan Garcia on a nice run, but it was really hard to see the ball the way he was running. Would have been a very difficult catch. Fouled away. And again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but Los Fresnos very good when the count is 3-2 and staying alive. And finally, waiting for the pitcher to just miss the strike zone finally and get on base. They just really know how to foul off those 3-2 pitches till they get the pitch they want for the walk. That's one thing that's impressed me about their team tonight. There we go again. Gets that walk, draws that walk. So Padilla is on. Castillo on third, Padilla on first. Hector Munoz, the shortstop, number 4, is next.
Batter for the Falcons, number 4, Hector Munoz.
And I believe he struck out in both his appearances, but those I believe were both against Cavazos. 5-1 the score here. Big 4th inning, 4 in the 4th for Los Fresnos. Runner goes to second, and ball goes into center field on the throw. So runner will score from third. Castillo comes in from third, and the runner credit with a steal, and then on the error will get to third. So Germain comes in. Padilla gets credit for a stolen base, and on the error advances to third. Would that be a throwing error? And we'll have to wait and see what the... What's that? It was there? Okay. So fielding error. All right. So it's now 6-1. 5th run of the half inning. And again, Munoz at the plate, 2-0 the count. Going to get some words from Coach Morales. Weslaco, of course, next home game scheduled for Monday against district leader Harlingen at 6:30 at this very field. Not sure if that game is being broadcast yet. We'll give you details as we find out. And by the way, it is the Easter weekend, so we hope everybody has a happy and safe one. It'll be a long weekend for some people. I know some people will be off Friday. Be Good Friday, is known by some people. 3-0 the count. Squares up to bunt, and it's going to be a called strike. Runner thought for a moment, or batter thought for a moment, that he could run to first, but a little disagreement with the umpire. So 3-1 the count. See if Hector squares up to bunt again. Remember, only 1 strike, so even if he fouls back, he wouldn't strike out. Maybe a suicide squeeze at the plate. We'll see. This time just swings away. Fouls the ball off, 3-2. Appreciate the help by both staffs today, helping us prepare for this game. That ball popped up, first baseman and right fielder running for it, couldn't quite get there, and it's going to be a single that loops in to short right field, and will score Padilla. Munoz gets a single and gets to first after striking out his first 2 at-bats. Juan Garcia, and I believe now Los Fresnos has batted around here in this half inning. Again, scoring 6 runs. Squares up to bunt over the head of the batter, and it'll be a stolen base. So Hector Munoz gets down to second. Several stolen bases tonight for Los Fresnos. Still one out. And there's going to be another discussion at the mound. Maybe having a pitching change. We'll see. And there is one. This will be the fourth pitcher of the night. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, a long half inning if you're a Weslaco fan. Coach Morales very humble when we talked about his team with him before the game, but again, they're a quality squad. We've seen that tonight. So it looks like there will not be a pitching change, I don't think. No, there won't be. Just a discussion at the mound. And of course, Weslaco, several more home games this season. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And again, they will be on the road Thursday, 6:30, Brownsville Rivera. All the remaining games are district games this month according to the schedule. 2-0 the count. That's a called strike. Home games still with Harlingen, San Benito, Brownsville, Hanna, and Brownsville Rivera. 2 games with Brownsville Rivera this upcoming April. That's a pop to the shortstop, and it's caught. Second out of the inning. That is good to see if you're a fan of the Panthers. So, P6. Chris Caceres with the out, the put out. And I've just been notified by Orlando Martinez here, I believe, that Chris and his brothers, right? Okay, the pitcher and shortstop are brothers. So that's interesting. Always like to give tidbits of information when we hear them. Chris, of course, is a junior. His brother, a freshman, pitching. And that goes to the shortstop. And that's going to be a long throw to first. And that is it. 6-3 out. And so after a big half inning for Los Fresnos, we have played 3.5. And it is the Falcons over the Panthers, 7-1. Dylan Garcia now coming to the plate. Let's see what he can do. Ball 1. Last time he was up, he got hit by a pitch, if memory serves me correct. Ball 2. If you're a Panthers fan, you'll take a runner any way you can right now. Doesn't have to be a hit. Just get that walk if you can. Now, we're not sure how often Jermaine pitches. We don't know how much he has in the tank, so to speak. But That time, 4 straight pitches to lead off the bottom of the 4th. 4 straight pitches outside, or at least outside the strike zone. And Dillon's on to lead off the bottom of the 4th with a walk. Nathaniel Perez is now up, the catcher. Runner being held on at first. And that is a long shot to left field. That is back. And that is off the wall. For a minute, it looked like it was going to be out of here. And that is going to move the runner. It was actually just a long single, but that doesn't matter. It did move the runner to third, and it was nice to watch. It was pretty to watch, I'll tell you that much. Nathaniel put some power into that one, some oomph. And that went way back. So, Garcia advances to third following that hit. Isaac Rodriguez, also hit by a pitch in this game, is up with runners on the corners and no outs. That's a called strike. Isaac playing second base. Pretty trajectory on that last hit. It's fun to watch it go to the outfield. And that's going to be tapped back to the pitcher. Runners cannot advance, or actually I should say the runner from third cannot advance at least. And again, it is going to be an out. First out of the inning. 1-3. Perez advances to second. Garcia holds at third. Caceres is now up. Chris, of course, we mentioned his brother, the freshman, pitching. That fouled back. 0-1. So runners in scoring positions, 1 out. Got to start somewhere, as we mentioned. Chris, a junior, his brother, freshman, both in the game now. And that is going to be foul. Just foul down the left field line. So 0-2 the count. That definitely would have scored a couple runs. But instead, again, 0-2. Chris was hit by a pitch to begin the game, at least for the first batter for Weslaco. 1-2 the count. That ball gets away from the catcher. Wild pitch, and that will score a run. So Weslaco gets their second run of the game as Perez comes in. Garcia comes in, and Perez will advance to third. So that is the first run for Weslaco since the second inning and makes the score 7-2. And that is a full count, 3-2. Got to chip away sometimes. Not an insurmountable lead. There's your word for the day, insurmountable. That ball hit toward right field. It's going back, but the right fielder in good position takes a few steps and catches it. But it will drive in a run, so sacrifice fly. Perez comes in. And again, a sacrifice fly. So there was a pinch runner? All right. So Fuentes was the pinch runner? All right. So Devin Fuentes was actually on base and was the pinch runner, listed as a catcher and a sophomore. So Fuentes will be credited with the runs scored. Weslaco just trying to chip away. Izzy DeLeon, and now at bat. And that ball is going to be a ground out to end the half inning. So Chris Caceres, credit with the RBI fly ball, but only 2 runs come in, but that's a start. And we now have played 4 complete. Los Fresnos over Weslaco, 7-3.
Before Christine McCleary was a physical therapist, she was an honor student at Weslaco ISD, played sports, and was a cheerleader. She graduated from Ohio State University, then physical therapy school at Texas State University. Now she is Dr. Christine McCleary at Triumph Therapy and part of the clinical faculty at UTRGV School of Medicine. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Christine McCleary, WISD was the right choice.
So Weslaco, we'll see if now they can hold runners off base. I was about to say, but that's not going to happen here in the 5th inning as the first batter gets hit by the pitch, DeLeon, and he will go to first. DeLeon batting in the 8th slot. He came in when Franco was pulled, starting pitcher, and took over his spot.
Sandoval.
The catcher, Sandoval, comes in, and I believe he's, been on base at least a couple times, walked and hit by a pitch, and it's ball 1. So definitely at the point when you're in the 5th inning, you really running out of time to be giving up too many more runs to make it a realistic game to catch up in. We've seen 1 double play in this game turned by Weslaco. 6-4-3, short second to first. Let's see if maybe the Panthers can do it again. That's one of the pitcher's best friends, the double play. .30, kind of waving that bat around now in the bunt position. And it's going to be 2-1. Again, Jacob Sandoval at bat. And he's, walked and scored. So he's got a good eye at the plate. And that one is going to be over the second baseman's head into right field. So now we have runners at first and second. DeLeon advances to second on the single by Sandoval. His first hit of the night. And we will go back to the top of the order. Josh Munoz, one of many players to get on base and score in the 4th inning. Number 23, the shortstop. Los Fresnos, the Falcons. We will not confuse them with the Atlanta Falcons. Nothing wrong with the Los Fresnos Falcons, of course. Everybody knows that I'm a Saints fan. I wear a Saints mask even. We do have a residence also in the New Orleans area as well as here in the Valley. But that's always been a great rivalry with the Atlanta Falcons and Saints all joking around. And that is going to be a ball the third baseman quite can't get to. Tried to scoop it up. And now a runner will try to score from third, does. And on the throw after the single, runner first goes to second. So now we have runners in scoring position. So an RBI single and advances on the throw. Talking about Munoz. Has gotten hits in consecutive at-bats, consecutive singles. And again, an RBI. De Leon came in on the single. And Sandoval now is over at third base. Sidney Moore up at bat. Been on base all 3 times. Walked twice and singled. The third baseman. Ball 1. Again, it is now an 8-3 lead for Los Fresnos. And that is low. Ball 2. We were teasing Coach Morales at Los Fresnos before the game. Again, being a Saints fan, I said, I know your team is called the Falcons, but they're the good Falcons, right? Not like the Dirty Birds in Atlanta. And we teased him because he happens to be an Atlanta Braves baseball fan. But again, over the years, I've covered a lot of Saints-Falcons games with my work with Network Radio, both in New Orleans and Atlanta. It's always been a fun rivalry. And now we're seeing a good rivalry in baseball between Falcons and Panthers. Of course, over the years, I've seen the Saints play the Panthers a lot too, Carolina Panthers, but we like these Panthers. A lot of respect, though, for Carolina, especially when Ron Rivera was there as head coach, now doing a nice job with his new team. Again, I remember when he played football for the Bears back when they won the Super Bowl, Ron Rivera, in 1986. Two and two the count. Yeah, he was a linebacker on that big Bears team that had all those superstars and Jim McMahon and Walter Payton. Very flamboyant team. One of the greatest defenses, at least for one season, in NFL history. 2 and 2 the count. 3 and 2. If he gets on, this will be the third walk of the night or more. Again, Gallegos, one of the 2 sport athletes. I know Burkett, one of the Burkett brothers, plays football, and that is going to be tapped up to the shortstop. A little pop for the out. Handled there short. Nice job by Chris. P6. Caceres with the out, catching it. So runners remain at second and third. And Jermaine Castillo comes up, and of course he had that big hit, the triple that scored 3 runs in that 6-run 4th inning. He had 3 of the 6 RBIs. And right now he's the pitcher of record. If Los Fresnos holds on, he will be the winning pitcher. 0-1 the count. Los Fresnos, 1 in the first, 6 in the 4th, and now 1 here in the 5th. That's their scoring summary. Outside for Weslaco, 1 in the 2nd and 2 in the 4th. 4 pitchers so far used by the Panthers, 2 so far for the visitors. Only home game this week for the Panthers. Harlingen here next Monday night. District leader. Cardinals come up the road. And that is now 1-2 the count. And of course, I think Baylor, a big basketball game tonight. I watched the women's game between UConn and Baylor last night, and yeah, I guess there were fouls at the end, and may have cost Baylor the game, but they let the girls play last night. They didn't call a lot of fouls. They were going to let the girls play, and that's what happened at the UConn and Baylor. Of course, that game shouldn't have even been in the Elite Eight. That should have been a championship or Final Four game, very least. So, grounder to second. We'll drive in a run. Fielder's choice. And that will be the second out of the inning. 4-3 the out, but a RBI. So Castillo now has 4 RBIs in the game on the fielder's choice. And the runner from second goes to third. Matt Padilla now up at bat. Again, Castillo out 4-3. That's popped up. Right fielder has it, and that will be the third out of the inning. So Padilla makes the third out. And add 2 on the scoreboard for Los Fresnos. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 9-3. It is Weslaco trailing Los Fresnos.
Before Dania Pulido became an attorney, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a member of the National Honor Society and a cheerleader. She earned her degree from St. Mary's University, then graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law. Now she is Dania Pulido, attorney at law for Texas Legal Services Center in Austin. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dania Pulido, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Excuse me, Thomas coming to play, I should say. And the count is 1-1. And that ball is going to be lofted over the center fielder's head. Nice job there. And he is going to get at least 3 on this. I don't think it's going to be an attempt at going inside the park, but nice job to lead off the bottom of the 5th with a triple. That's what we like to see. Have you seen an inside the park home run here? Okay, so Chris has one. Troy Rodriguez at bat. That is one of the most exciting plays in baseball. An inside the park home run. Chris Castros has one this year. And you know, I've seen a couple now and then, not too often, but the main, though, thing is that you've got a runner on base and no outs at third in scoring position already. And you want to see what you can do to get things going. Thomas again leading off the triple. And now Rodriguez up. And that's a high fly ball. Shortstop's going to call for it. And that'll be the first out of the inning. So Munoz calls off the other infielders and winds up catching the pop out by Rodriguez. Ryan Everett, the designated hitter, now up with 1 out. That ball outside. And actually, we were talking about Baylor. They actually played last night in the tournament, beating Arkansas 81-72. And, of course, Houston, remember those days with Clyde Drexler in the 80s? Keem Olajuwon, they won last night 67-61. That is a long fly ball. That is going to be off the wall in left field, and that will score a run. Thomas comes in, and so a nice run-scoring double for the Panthers. Again, the bats are staying alive. And are we going to see a pinch runner or no? I guess just throwing the helmet out. So we are going to see a pitch runner. All right. Appreciate that. Cesar Gomez coming in, a sophomore, as the pinch runner at second base, following the double. And coming up is Stone Gomez, following Everett's double. Remember, Everett almost hit a home run. It was just foul down the left field line. Ball went over 320 feet. But this time gets on a double, and now the pitch runner's up. And now a pop-up out of play. Stone Gomez has had a couple home runs this year, a solo shot, and also one 3-run homer. Seeing what he can do tonight. Everett, of course, now has 2 hits. He singled earlier in the game. Gomez watches a pitch go outside, a wild pitch, and that will advance the runner to third. So 9-4 is the score. A lot of scoring here in the last couple innings. In the last 2 innings, we have seen Los Fresnos score 8 runs, and so far in the 4th and the 5th, 3 runs for Weslaco. 9-4 the score overall. That ball rolling to third base. Runner will come in, and it will be a ground out. 5-3, but it scores the pinch runner. So Gomez comes in and makes it a 9-5 game. So Stone will be credited with an RBI. Dylan Garcia now steps to the plate. I believe he's been hit by a pitch and walked in this game. And that time, a single over the shortstop's head. So now he gets a hit. And with 2 outs, we have a runner on first. Little by little, the Panthers are nibbling away at the lead. The main thing is they just have to stop Los Fresnos on offense. Nathaniel Perez coming up, the catcher. I believe he's had a couple hits in the game. That's a ball outside. I'm always amazed at what catchers can do, you know, especially when you play in this part of the country with the heat as you get toward late spring. I know these are young men, they're healthy, but still it's a tough job. All these players are athletic, but give special credit to the abilities of the catchers. Again, 2 outs, runner at first. Strike. Another called strike. So again, 2-2 the count. That ball outside. Again, Weslaco fans still cheering on their team. Have not lost their spirit, although their team has been trailing in this game. Again, full count. And that's going to be a walk. So, hypothetically, if we get a home run by the next batter, Weslaco would only be 1 run behind, and maybe Coach Morales knows that as he's taking a walk out to the mound. I have a chat with his pitcher saying, let's not take anything lightly here. We got out to the big lead, but just like any pitcher, you can be 1 pitch away from really putting your team in a bad situation.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Josh Burkett coming up to bat. See what he can do. And of course, he's a senior outfielder. Contributes a lot on the football team. We all know that at linebacker. Been a leading tackler the last couple of years. And that ball will be hit toward right field. Will the right fielder make it? No! It will fall out of his mitt as he was running, could not hold on to it. And that is going to be a run-scoring double. Runner will stop at third, but Burkett will get to second. Nice job there. Good effort by the right fielder trying to catch up to that ball. Couldn't quite do it. So now we have runners at scoring position. And Chris is now up. And he is the tying run, folks. So again, Chris Caceres is the tying run. And again, remember, we're just in the 5th inning. So 3 runs scored so far by Weslaco in this half inning. And that's a strike. 1-1. That just caught the outside corner. Big swing. 1-2 the count. So an exciting game. Los Fresnos, of course, having that big 4th inning where they got out to the 7-1 lead, but Weslaco chipping away. And that's going to be a drop third strike, but they will get the runner before he gets to first. And that is the end of the half inning. Weslaco coming back, but still a ways to go. We've played 5, and the Panthers trail the Falcons 9-6. Coming up to bat, Hector Munez. Wind has been blowing steadily all during the game. And that is going to be A ball. Ball one. A strike. All right, strike. So strike one. Off to a good start here in the top of the sixth. That hits the corner too. Nice pitch. Kind of a curve there. Not sure what Gallego's pitches are, but the first two of this half inning have been impressive. And that will be tapped into right field. Falls just in front of the right fielder. So a leadoff single. And again, the bats have been hot tonight in these middle innings for Los Fresnos. The next batter will be Juan Garcia. I know he's been on at least a couple times, singled and walked. I remember that. We'll be bunting this time, it looks like. Pulls back, but it's a strike. 0-1. Coach Morales not afraid to use the bunt out there. Even one time we saw a batter try to bunt with 2 strikes and it fouled out. But again, not afraid to use it. That ball outside, and 1-1. Again, Harlingen here next Monday, day after Easter. Ball low. A 1-1 the count. The San Benito home game will be on Friday the 16th at 6:30. Brownsville-Hanna will be here on April 19th, a Monday at 6:30. That's a called strike, 1-2. And then as far as home games, the final one will be the 26th of April. This is regular season, Brownsville-Rivera at 6:30. Of course, several road games also coming up for Weslaco in April. That fouled back. Two and two the count. We're talking about Baylor being in the NCAA men's tournament. One thing some people may have missed, and we'll talk about it in just a moment, when it involves postseason college basketball. Outside. That's a ball, 3-2, is that the NIT, I think for the first time ever, was played outside of New York City, the whole tournament. Always the finals, at least, were always played in Madison Square Garden in New York, but the whole tournament this time was played, I guess up in the Frisco, Texas area, in Denton, Texas. So that was quite an honor for the Lone Star State. Hosting the NIT this year. I think for 85 years it's been in New York, at least the finals. And that's going to be a walk. So runners at first and second with no outs. Again, that walk issued to Juan Garcia. And again, we're going to have a pitching change.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
And Jose Cervantes now at the plate. Runners at first and second. No outs. Bunt. Going to be a tough chance for Gomez. It's going to be a bunt single. We talked about them not being afraid to bunt. And now they've bunt the bases loaded. So a very productive hitting night for Los Fresnos. And again, coming to the plate, C.J. De Leon, who came in as a reserve, went to right field when they removed Franco as the pitcher early in the game. Coming to bat with the bases loaded. I believe he's been hit by a pitch in the game. Also scored. One and 0 the count. 2-0. Again, bags jammed. Nowhere to put the runner. I mean, nowhere to put the batter, I should say. That's going to be 3-0. So, one pitch potentially away from putting the score in double digits for Los Fresnos. Here's the pitch. Strike. And of course, one thing I admire here, and they have this at a number of stadiums, is that around the backstop, where the fans can see them, they have all the names of the players. Very impressive. Nice way to honor all the Weslaco Panther players this year. And that is going to be a ball, and that is going to force in a run. So another run plated for Los Fresnos as Muniz comes in. And we're at the bottom of the order. Jacob Sandoval is in, and he's been on base tonight. Well, I guess I could say that for most of the Los Fresnos player. A good productive night for the team as a whole. Now that is going to be a ball. I believe he's been hit by a pitch, walked, and singled. Bag still jammed with no outs. It is now 10-6. And so Los Fresnos has scored at least one run in the last 3 innings. As a matter of fact, in the last 3 innings, they've been very productive. 9 runs. 9 of their 10 runs have come in the last 3 innings. 2-0 the count. So Stone having a little problems here finding the strike zone. Infield in. Strike one. Infield maybe thinking a possible bunt, or at least any kind of ground ball. They want to have a play at the plate. But obviously if you can just pop it over their heads, you can get a single. That's one of the risks you take when you play in the infield. And that is going to get away from the catcher, but no one will advance. but it will now make for a 3-1 count. Remember, Weslaco, another couple chances to try to get back in this game, but first they've got to stop the Los Fresnos bats. And that is going to be hit over the third baseman. We talked about playing the infield in. You can just kind of launch the ball over the head of the infielders if you can, if you know how to control your bat speed. And that is going to be a 2-run single. Runner advances on the throw. And there's going to be a pitch runner coming in, I believe. Yes. So coming in to run at second base for Los Fresnos is going to be Aaron Garcia, listed as a junior infielder. And again, 2 more runs have come in on that single. Jacob Sandoval with a single. It scored 2 runs. And again, a pitch runner comes in for him. He's the catcher. Makes sense. Back to the top of the order, Josh Munoz. So it is now a 12-6 lead. 3 runs so far here in the top of the inning, top of the 6th. Infield still playing fairly up near the edge of the grass. But again, if you can loft a ball like Sandoval did over the top of the infielder, you can get hit. It may not be the easiest thing to do. I don't know if he was trying to do that or not, but it worked. We were just talking about it, and he showed us an example of how to get a hit over a drawn-in infield. That is going to be a wild pitch, and, well, the runners won't go. The runner at second better get back. He was over halfway down to third, and then he realized that wild pitch was not going to allow the runner from third to come in, so he better get back to second quickly. But none of the infielders were actually there to try to tag him out, so the catcher did not try to throw over to second to try to get the runner. And that's going to be a solid hit. Oh, was that caught? Double play. All right, so the third baseman caught it. All right, hard shot to the third baseman. And he tagged the base. So the batter was out when the third baseman caught it. And then the runner couldn't get back to third in time and got tagged out. So the second double play of the game for Weslaco makes it 2 outs. And Sidney Moore is up. So Munoz again out on the line out to the third baseman. And then the runner at third could not get back and was tagged out. Still a runner at second, the pinch runner. And Moore, who's had a good night. Been on base 3 times, 2 walks and a single. I believe has scored at least 2 out of those 3 times. So 12-6 is the score. 3 runs so far here in the 6th inning. Again, ball lined out to third. Nice job by the third baseman, creating that unassisted double play. Give credit to Dylan Garcia of Weslaco. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. 11 runs scored by Los Fresnos in the last 3 innings. Two and one. And that ball is going to be lofted toward right field. It's going back, and it will fall in the alley, and another run will score. So on that play, coming in is the pinch runner, Aaron Garcia. A double. Jermaine Castillo coming up. So more 2 walks, a single, and a double. I know he has at least a couple RBIs in this game. So Sidney Moore, the third baseman, having a nice night for Los Fresnos. Very good night. And now it is 13-6. Four runs so far here in the 6th inning. A discussion at the mound. We'll have to see if there's going to be another pitching change or they're going to stay with Stone. I have to figure out how he got his nickname. I know his name is Jesse on the roster, but everybody calls him Stone. I guess one thing you can say about tonight, you got to see a lot of your pitching staff. If you're part of the Weslaco coaching staff, that's not what you really want to do. I know we heard beforehand they would have just as soon had Cavazos go the whole way, but this is not going to be one of those nights. So does 13 turn out to be a lucky or unlucky number for Los Fresnos? Stay tuned, right? That was something they used to say a lot in the media business. I don't know if you hear that much anymore. Castillo, I believe, will be the pitcher of record. If the score holds up, he'd get the win, although he's not pitching anymore. Still in the game. Had a triple in this game that scored 3 runs, so that was a big play for him. I know he's got at least a couple hits. And that ball will be tapped to third. Dylan Garcia with a long throw to first. And it's an out. And that ends this half inning. But still 4 more runs for Los Fresnos. We have played so far 5.5. And it's 13-6 Los Fresnos over Weslaco.
Before Christine McCleary was a physical therapist, she was an honor student at Weslaco ISD, played sports, and was a cheerleader. She graduated from Ohio State University, then physical therapy school at Texas State University. Now she is Dr. Christine McCleary at Triumph Therapy and part of the clinical faculty at UTRGV School of Medicine. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Christine McCleary, WISD was the right choice.
Izzy DeLeon at the plate, facing Sidney Moore. I guess you could see Weslaco fans don't want to see no more as Sidney the way he's played tonight. But all joking aside, he's had a great night offensively, and we'll see if he can wrap things up pitching for them or if he can be rattled by the bats of the Panthers. And that time, the inning gets off to a good start as there's a walk. Aaron Thomas up. Got on base his last at bat. Singled, if I remember. And now DeLeon on first with the walk. to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Ball inside. Keep in mind the bats have started coming alive for Weslaco in the later part of this game. It's just the fact that they just can't stop the offense, the hitting of the Falcons. 1-1 the count. Ball fouled back, so more ahead in the count, 1-2. Again, getting late in the game, time for Weslaco bats to come alive more than they have. 2-2. If you're not familiar, these high school games are scheduled for 7 innings in regulation. Fouled back, so that would mean Weslaco has one more chance to come to the plate tonight. Down by 7 right now. And that's going to be a walk. So runners on first and second. Thomas draws the walk. Couple of walks here. Troy Rodriguez next. First baseman wearing number 30. Los Fresno's got a 6-run half inning. Maybe the Panthers can. They do that, they'd be behind by 1. Catcher thinks about a snap throw to first, but runner's back. Wants to keep the runner honest, not to get too big of a lead. We're talking about Rodriguez at first. 3-0 the count. And in just a moment, the bags could be jammed. That's a strike. At this point in the game, you got to take it one batter at a time. Don't think about how big the lead is. Just try to get one batter on, then another batter. Strike 2. So more coming through in the clutch right now. Remember, we talked about Los Fresnos fouling away a lot of pitches on a 3-2 count to stay alive. Let's see what happens here for the Panthers. And that's going to be a swinging strike 3. So it out. Rodriguez strikes out. De Leon on second, Tamez on first. Ryan Everett now is up. He's got a hit in the game. Just a freshman. Runner still at first and second, but now 1 out. Outside. Ball high, 2-0. Remember, Moore got behind on several of these batters. A couple walks, but then a strikeout. A little control problems here, but this time High fly ball to left field. Left fielder comes in. Will he get it? Yes. A nice run. And there's the out. So Everett flies out to left. Padilla comes in to make the out. And now there's 2 outs. Runners still at first and second. Stone Gomez, who came in to pitch the last half inning, now up at the plate. Ball. Gomez, I believe, started out in right field. Swinging strike before being moved to pitcher. 1-1 the count. Popped it up. Catcher trying to run toward the dugout, toward the fence. Couldn't quite get there to get the ball. Remains a 1-2 count. Catcher readjusting some of his gear out there to the long run. One and two the count, 2 outs. Evened up at 2-2. And that's going to be hit into center field. Center fielder dives for it. Did he get it? Wow, nice play. Nice diving play to make the 3rd out of the inning. So we have played 6 complete. No runs in that bottom of the inning for Weslaco, and they trail Los Fresnos 13-6.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So, again, we go to the 7th inning, and we'll see, are there going to be any runs now for Los Fresnos, or is the door going to be shut? We'll find out here as we get it going. Coming up to the plate right now, Matthew Padilla. So Padilla will lead it off. And I believe he's got a single walk and strikeout. Plays left field. 13-6 the score. Los Fresnos leads. 2-1 the count. I guess it'd be at least a moral victory if you shut them out in this half inning after they scored in the last 3. But the big picture is this is a hot district race, and you really got to see if there's some way you can come back and stay tied, or actually, I guess, move into sole possession of second place in the district. But that's not the way to do it, as the leadoff batter walks. But many games yet to be played, all right? There's still a full month of baseball, district baseball in the regular season for both these teams, regardless of what happens tonight. Hector Munoz is now up to plate. Hector's got on base his last 2 at bats after striking out in his first 2 appearances. Runner now at second. Ball 1. Los Fresnos or Weslaco, whoever wins moves to 5-1 in district. I believe Harlingen already at 5-0. Both right now in second place behind the leaders in 32-6A. 2-0 the count. Strike 1. Stone Gomez still in there pitching. Got a runner at second. No outs. Count even, 2-2. "19 runs scored between the 2 teams. Unfortunately for Weslaco fans, 13 by Los Fresnos. And a swinging strikeout. So Stone records his first strikeout. Hector Munez is out. And Juan Garcia, the first baseman, comes to bat. Just misses, ball 1. Runner is out. Got too far off the base and is tagged out at second base. So that is the second out of the inning. Second baseman got over there, made the tag. Runner got picked off. So there's now 2 outs. Garcia still at bat. Badia picked off. We've seen some good defensive plays tonight by Weslaco, a couple double plays. We saw that pickoff of the runner on base. So there have been some nice defensive gems. Again, just too much hitting by the bats of Los Fresnos. 2-1 the count. I remember that nice unassisted double play at third base. That ball hit to third base by the third baseman. A nice job trying to reach for it, but couldn't quite get there. So Juan Garcia gets a single. Dylan Garcia, by the way, at third base. Jose Cervantes now at the plate. Second baseman wearing number 1. 2 outs. Owen won the count. I believe we're going to have some Weslaco East baseball coming up on Thursday. You'll be able to get more information on that as the week goes by via K-West and YouTube. That is going to be hit in the gap between left and center and is going to score a run. So now it will be 14-6 on a double. So a run-scoring double. That was by Jose Cervantes. And coming to the plate will be the right fielder, number 9, C.J. De Leon. A substitute during the game. So now we have seen Los Fresnos score 1 run in the last 4 innings. The only innings they did not score, we're now in the 7th, was in the 2nd and 3rd. Again, runner at second, 2 outs. Ball 2. Catcher Jacob Sandoval will be next. He'll be at the bottom of the order, and then, of course, back to the top of the order if the bats stay alive for the Falcons. Two and 0 the count. Weslaco, that is, scored 1 in the 2nd, and then 2 in the 4th and 3 in the 5th for their total of 6. And that is going to be a walk. So De Leon goes to first, and we're at the bottom of the order. Coming to bat is Jacob Sandoval, who's had a good night. Been on base several times. Conference at the mound. I think this is the 6th pitcher tonight. And Chris Caceres is now in. Move over from shortstop. His brother, I believe, pitched earlier, so it's a family affair tonight. One and one the count. 1 run so far in this half inning. 14-8 the score. Los Fresnos on top. Appreciate all the fans out here tonight. Very loyal, staying, win or lose all the time. Good fans for Weslaco. 3-1 the count. And it's a high fly ball. Over the head of the right fielder, tried to get it, but it will be a hit regardless. So Jacob Sandoval gets to first, and another run comes in. 15 now to 6. Back to the top of the order. Josh Munoz is now at bat. Shortstop. Again, it's been a team effort offensively for Los Fresnos. Everybody contributing in one way or the other. Ball one. Called strike. Munoz been on base with hits the last 2 times up. Time called. Be interesting to see who's going to win the NCAA tournaments this weekend. Swinging strike. I just don't know if anybody can beat Gonzaga. They're just very, very tough. We'll have to wait and see on the men's side. On the women's side, I know Stanford's very good. I think they're the #1 overall seed, but gosh, the way UConn played. The only thing with UConn, they're just a young team. They've got all the talent in the world. If they can play up to their talent, I think they can win it, but I'm just not sure if they're just a little bit young yet. I'm not sure if anybody is going to stop them, though, in the next couple of years on the women's side. Popped up. And this time, pop out to the second baseman. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, 2 runs in the top of the 7th, and it is now a 15-6 lead for Los Fresnos. Dylan Garcia, the third baseman, is up. He's had a lot of action at third tonight. And of course, had that unassisted double play. And he's been close to a lot of balls tonight. Made a lot of efforts, just a few of them out of his reach. But he's hustled after everything out there as an infielder. Got to credit him for that. 0-1 the count. Still pitching is Sidney Moore. Appears he'll attempt to close it out for Los Fresnos. Swing and a miss. 1-2. That ball low. Evens the count at 2-2. And like all the sports at Weslaco, teams never give up no matter what, so we expect to see each of these batters take their cuts. do the best they can. And there we go. A walk. Got to start somewhere. Runner on base to begin the inning. Garcia walks. And now the catcher comes to the plate. Excuse me. Some substitutions here. So now Alex Castillo comes to the plate. He's been very valuable as a pitcher. Also can play infield. Sophomore. Last week, I understand, according to Orlando Martinez Jr., pitching last week, Castillo threw over 90 pitches, so maybe that's why we haven't seen him in the pitching role tonight. 1-2 the count. But again, a very valuable part of the pitching staff, along with Cavazos. Inside, 2-2. And I'm sure he'll see a lot more action on the mound this year. And that is going to be looped into left field down the line. So the runner will try to get to third and does. Runners on the corners, no outs. So nice job there by Castillo, advancing the runner to third. Isaac Rodriguez now at the plate. First baseman. Seeing what he can do. First pitch fouled off. Again, 15-6 the score. Los Fresnos in the lead. Ball evens the count, 1-1. Getting ready for the top of the order. Strike, 1-2. Check swing. And that's a called strike 3. So 1 out. Chris Caceres now in. Pitched last half inning. Started the game at shortstop. His brother also pitched tonight. So brother's got a chance to pitch. Chris, a junior. His brother a freshman. 1-1 the count. Julian, again, pitched earlier in the game, also can play infield just like his brother. 1-2 the count. Chris led off the game getting hit by a pitch. A lot of players not hit by pitches and thought that might be an omen that this would be a big first inning, but no score in the first inning for the Panthers. They did get a run in the second. And again, have a total of 6. 2-2 the count. And that gets by the first baseman into right field. So We have runners now at first and second. A run is scored in this half inning, and it's now 15-7. Michael Alanis into bat, listed as a senior infielder. Getting a chance to see some action tonight. Called strike. 22 runs total scored. A 1-1. Both catchers have done a good job tonight scrambling for balls, preventing them from becoming wild pitches. Give credit to both of them. Nathaniel Perez for the Panthers and Jacob Sandoval for Los Fresnos. 3-1 the count. One more ball and the bags are jammed. That's fouled back, full count. Hard to believe Major League Baseball returns, what, a couple days? Thursday. I know some of the stadiums letting fans in. I think Astros will start out letting about 10,000 people in up in Houston. They'll be on the road, actually, to begin the season at Oakland. And that's going to be a walk. So bags are jammed. I think ESPN's going to do about 3 or 4 games on opening day. I think the Astros game in Oakland's the late game. Actually, in their division, Astros and Oakland A's are favored to win it. So 1 out. Bases are loaded. Let's see if Weslaco can capitalize. Ball 1. Aaron Thomas at the plate. We've seen him on base tonight. He's going to bunt maybe. No, pulls back. A 1-1. The old suicide squeeze. Low 2-1. .32-6A action tonight from Weslaco, Texas. And that ball hit down the right field line, and it's fair. It's fair. It is going to bring in at least 2 runs. It's going to be a double, and it is going to be all there. A double, but a nice job hitting that ball down the right field line and scoring 2 runs. So it's now 15-9, and we've got runners in scoring position with 1 out. That wakes everybody up, and we'll have to see if we're going to get a new pitcher. So, coming in now is Michael Trevino. Excuse me, the voice is still hanging in there. Listed as a pitcher, outfielder, a junior. And again, 15-9 the score. Just had a run-scoring double. There's a strike. One and one the count again, 1 out. And that is going to drop into right field. Right fielder misplays it. But, again, it'll just be a single. Good reaction to not let it get real far behind him. But that is going to score another couple runs. So, again, now we just have a runner at first. But the score is now 15-11. So what happens? I always like to be optimistic. You get a couple walks and you get the bags jammed in a grand slam. And we might, Orlando, we might go for a 5-hour game then, huh? Hey, you know, you're not supposed to talk about time in a baseball press box, but I want the Panthers to do good, right? So if I'm jinxing for a long game that way, it's all right. There's an old rule that you don't talk about time. And like guys will come into a press box in baseball, and I've worked in it a long time, and they'll say, oh, this is a fast game, and then it goes 4 hours because someone said that in the press box when the game was moving fast. Because remember, baseball, though, is the one sport without time. Now, there's a high hit ball. Let's see where that goes. It's going to be caught. So high hit, hard hit, but it's going to be an out by Ryan Everett. So now there's 2 outs. Ryan, of course, we know he has some power. Just a freshman. I can't imagine what he'll do when he's a senior. Well, we know this guy can hit some home runs. Stone Gomez has a couple this year. And he's a 9th grader, but don't be fooled by that. This guy's got some talent, just like Ryan at the plate. And again, he has got to get a hit or get on base at least to keep this game going. Otherwise, it'll be a victory for Los Fresnos. Here's the windup and the pitch. High. No, actually, a strike. Okay, I know. 1-2, 0-2. I haven't missed too many tonight, but again, like you said, it's been 4 hours and 4 hours and 30 minutes, whatever. A lot of pitchers, a lot of hitters, a lot. And that is going to be a ball, 1-2. Again, my crew, they've hung in there. I'm proud of them. Adrian De Leon and Vinny Berry been working outside tonight, keeping this thing a running. We've seen a lot of running tonight. And that's going to be fouled back. Stone trying to keep it alive. A 1-2 the count. Evens it up at 2-2. And there's plenty of fans still here, all right? I mean, the length of this game has not driven anybody out of here. And that is going to be a called strike. The game is over. Final score, we see it is Los Fresnos in a District 32A game, defeating the host Weslaco Panthers 15-11. So Panthers fall to 4-2 in district, and we see that Los Fresnos goes to 5-1. Again, I want to thank Adrian De Leon and Vinny Berry, my crew. My name is Scott Harrison, and again, so long from Weslaco, Texas. Have a safe and happy Easter weekend. This has been a K-West production.